Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's recovering. Everyone's, rehabilitating, whatever you're doing, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, guys, before I start, don't forget to smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. Now, let's get straight into it. Of course, Manchester United losing 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur last night in the early hours for me. Firstly, I want to say congratulations to Tottenham. Well deserved. They had a game plan. It worked. We fell for it. Our IQ didn't overcome it. We fell for their dirty tricks, their dark arts. And guys, we lost to the worst Tottenham side I've seen in my life. I've seen bad Tottenham sides, believe it. And this is the worst Tottenham team I've ever seen in my life. And you can't blame them because they didn't have Kulusevski. They didn't have Bergville, they didn't have Madison playing. So at the end of the day, they had a game plan and they didn't do it. But we really need to have a serious look at some of these players, right? And no one is exempt from criticism. Nobody, right? But this targeting the manager thing, that's not for me. He's made a mistake. He made the substitutions too late, in my opinion. The team was wrong, hypothetically. It's very easy for me to come out in hindsight and talk about, the team was wrong and team was wrong. It was in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because none of us were talking about that before, were we? At the end of the day, that team that we put out there was good enough to be a very, very poor Tottenham Hotspur side. But many auditions in that team yesterday failed. Mason Mount proved to me he's not a Manchester United player. Many of those players in that team proved to me they're not Manchester United players. Shaw is not a Manchester United player anymore. We look at Rasmus Højlund. He's one of the worst strikers I've ever seen at Man United. Not a Manchester United player. We got Onana. When he goes down like a ton of, I don't know how he goes down. He goes down like a sloth in stages. And this is what I'm talking about. Yes, Bruno shouldn't give away the ball. Yes, Luke Shaw should have cleared the ball. Maguire as well. But what I would say is this. Goalkeepers decide matches sometimes. And if Onana saves that, we're not losing that game. I guarantee you will end up winning that game. I guarantee it. Bruno. I look at Bruno in the eye and I just can't believe in him anymore. I can't believe in Bruno anymore. I can't believe in him. I look at him, he's got assist, stat padding, this and that. I don't believe in him. I don't. They're just good players, but they're not the players that we want to elevate us to the next level. They're not the players that we want to elevate. Now, people are going to blame Ruben Amorim. Of course, they are entitled to blame Ruben Amorim. I'm seeing people jumping on the Ruben Amorim out bandwagon, really, really reactionary guys. Give Ruben Amorim a bloody transfer window, for goodness sake. Then start saying, Ruben Amorim out. 1 minute, you're Ruben Amorim in. The next minute, you're Ruben out. It just shows a lack of intelligence. You can criticize things. You can critique. You can pick the bones out of stuff. But this overreactionary mentality, is childish, in my opinion. There are many problems at Man United. And as I've said many, many times, there's a cultural problem at Manchester United. To lose to Tottenham Hotspur, it was embarrassing, especially this Tottenham. This is one of the worst Tottenham sides I've seen, as I said. It was embarrassing. Most teams would have beat them yesterday. But we were toothless. As much as we dominated the game in the second half when we brought in the substitutions, we were toothless. And serious questions need to be asked. Obviously, this summer is going to be an absolute war zone in regards to the manager, in or out, in regards to transfers, in regards to rumours. There's going to be a lot going on this summer, and we're going to be here together to witness it. Guys, welcome to the stream. Let me read some of your comments out. Let's read some of your comments out. Glazer's out, absolutely. Like I see, big up. Give him a window, absolutely. Big up yourself. Then judge him. Yeah, no one's judging him here. We need a second season, absolutely. For me, I'm backing Ruben, and the guys need to know that the current squad he's having isn't his, and we should give him at least 1-2 seasons to clarify his name and to get us back on track. Absolutely fair, spot on, my friend. I agree with that, mate. I agree 100% with that. Morning, Sal. Do you think Amram will use another trick or will he use another plan to get Gutierrez signed? And if he doesn't, will you accept Rashford back? Partner Cunha and Delap? No, I would not set Rashford back. Rashford is not good enough. I don't want these players back at Man United. I'd rather play a youth player. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather bring in Musa or Cheeto or something like that. I don't want him back anymore. I've had enough of these players that have been stinking at the place as well for the last 12 years. But there are many players that need to leave this football club. Some players are your favorites. Guys, I'm going to be real with this. If Bruno is the answer as our captain, we're in big trouble. That's the second European final he's gone missing. And it's not just down to him. Of course it's not. There's the Casemiro and that. We got experienced players in there. But if he's the answer for what is the question? This whole squad needs to be revamped. I'm only keeping a couple of players in that team. I'm telling you right now. There's only a few players in that team that I'm going, yeah, Mazraoui, Euro, Ahmad. And then I'm thinking, who else? Maybe De Ligt, De Ligt. And I'm thinking, the rest of them I just don't think are good enough. Tybo, big up yourself. How you doing, my friend? Series of huge unexplained mistakes, Ruben, but the players should still show up and give out. They're all Tybo. People are gonna just single-mindedly, very simplistically, blame Ruben Amorim. And yes, Ruben Amorim is to blame on the substitutions and stuff like that. But you, as well as I know, Tyborg, you know as well as I do, that this team was good enough to beat that Tottenham team yesterday. The only problem I had is how pragmatic we were, why we were passing to side, backwards. No one was taking a chance in that team. That is what was so disappointing, that no one was taking a chance in that team. Passing side to side. And Tottenham were just sitting back like, we love this. This is great. We got the 1-0. We're going to do. And I knew this even before half-time, that they're going to be playing for that 1-0. They're going to be playing for that 1-0. So we might as well sacrifice a defender, stop playing free at the back, and just put one player up front. That's what we should have done. Obviously, hindsight is a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? As I've said. But I didn't see any threat from Tottenham. After their goal, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't turn off. If I have any problems, guys, technically, just let me know and stuff. I'll just... Yeah, and that's what I would say about that. Series of... But the thing is, I would look at that and I would say that none of us in that, said that we're going to lose the game yesterday. None of us looked at the team and thought, that's a bad lineup. We're going to lose the game. As I said, the biggest issue I have is that Tottenham were happy to take the 1-0. And I knew that at half-time. And I think many of us knew that we needed to make changes at half-time. You know what I mean? That's what we needed to do. And does drive me mad, does drive me crazy. You know what I mean? When I'm thinking about it now. Amram clearly sabotaged the lineup and not bringing on subs. What was he thinking? I am sorry. I really pissed off at Amram's quotes today. I don't think he sabotaged it. He didn't sabotage it. The players weren't good enough. Sabotage is not the word I would use. Where was the Portuguese Odegaard? Gone missing again? Yeah. I never witnessed such a heavy downfall of the club. I'm 40 years in football. The bad thing is, it happened to be the club I adore for 30 years. I really don't see a way out of this mess. The only way out of it, Tyborg, and I'm going to have to quote, I'm going to have to talk to people, and I'm going to have to try and go against the grain a little bit, right? We know that the Glazers need to leave. We know that Ineos need to leave. This defeat for Manchester United yesterday really, really resonated with me. It really hit me with like a dagger in the heart, And I was embarrassed by that defeat, because this is not a Tottenham team with Gareth Bale and these type of players in the team. This is a very, very weak Tottenham team. One of the weakest Tottenham teams I've ever seen, and I've seen some very weak Tottenham teams. They weren't offering anything. All Man United needed to do was get one goal. One goal. One goal. And we would have come back to the game, probably would have won the game. But side to side, pragmatic football, playing into Tottenham's hands, the dark arts that Tottenham wanted to do, which we were falling for it. Maguire spent the whole game arguing with Romero. What are you doing, Harry? Why are you arguing with Romero? You know, yes, Ruben Amorim, again, substitutions far too late. 70 minutes, far too late. We were screaming out for changes. But there are many players on that pitch there yesterday that failed their audition. And many players in that team yesterday need to leave. Because I'm not blaming the manager here. I'm not saying Amorim out. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not immature, right? I'm not going to start just going Amorim out after 6 months. That's not what I'm going to do. But what I am going to do is that Ineos better back this manager, get in the players that fit his system and get rid of all those players in that team. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a slog this summer. We're not going to get the players we want. We might not even get Gyökeres now. You know, these type of players that we were excited to get. Of course, we may announce Cunha today, which is a little bit of spin. But we need far more than Cunha. We need far more. We have no firepower. We have no goalkeeper. We have no striker. Two very important parts of the football pitch. Two. Terrible. Tybo, the Glazers must sell the club. This is the only way out. And the plan, some 5 years of proper rebuild and mentality change. The problems are much bigger than Onana, Shaw, Højlund, Mount, and Amorim. I agree with that. Onana, Shaw, Højlund, and Amorim, Mount, and Amorim are part of the problem, but not the problem. The problem, and I'll tell you guys right now, the problem is this. I'll show you. This is yesterday's game. This is yesterday's game, right? This is the Glazers in Bilbao yesterday. Comfortably in Bilbao. The Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe. Comfortably in Bilbao. Without a care in the world. If they can easily walk into this stadium without a care in the world, you think they're going to sell? Look at them. There's a nonchalance. They don't give a damn. All they care about is that regeneration project. That's all they care about, you know. And we're just not scary enough as a fan base. We're not mean enough as a fan base, and we need to do better. Absolutely, I would say absolutely. Where was we? Tyborg. I'm sure the one thing our fan base doesn't deserve to be treated like this. We are the club that was such rich, arrogant, clueless Americans are paying with our love for the passion and dedication to run over. Tyborg, you're spot on. But let me tell you a story about Norman Whiteside, right? Norman Whiteside is a legendary Manchester United player. Of course, we remember him for the goal in the FA Cup final, which bent into the top corner, of course. His wife wrote a tweet and said that they're taking the season ticket away from them. And no, we're not taking the season ticket away from them. They're moving them to another part of the ground. So the Whitesides are giving up their season tickets. These are Manchester United legends, guys. These are Manchester United legends, and they're removing season tickets from these greats. They don't care about Man United's heritage, our legacy. Just like those players on the pitch. And what did I say, guys? The culture at the top will resonate to the bottom on the pitch. If the Ineos, if the Glazers don't care about our legends, why are those players going to care? It needs a complete revamp. We need CTRL, Alt, or whatever, delete, over, reset. That's what we need. That's what Man United need. Complete reset. Absolutely. Bruno's a midfield 8. I'm wondering why he couldn't have played Ugarte. I mean, as I said, Freya, I said it yesterday. Bruno's no number 8 for me. Bruno's no number 8 for me. More times than not, when Bruno plays as a number 8, we're crap. You know, we're crap anyway. But, you know, more times than not, when Bruno plays as a number 8, we're rubbish. You know what I mean? Glenios out, says Triple M. Watch Glenios spin into. I said it already, mate. Yep. Freya. Tottenham came with a mentality to show their anger to take the trophy, but we played as if we were in training. We couldn't press. And an annoying thing is, Fred, that I know that if they started pressing like we pressed in the second half, we would have got a goal, hopefully. Why didn't he just take off a defender? Tottenham weren't doing anything. Take off a defender, put another striker up. Put Maguire up front. Do what you want at the end of the day. Put another midfielder in there. Mainu played 1 minute of the game, you know. Not me, Triple M. Not me. Speak for yourself, brother. Not me, Kazi. I watched Angry press conference and he meant business and their players showed up. Their players didn't show up, Kenny. Tottenham were crap. Their players didn't show up. We just couldn't score a goal and we were toothless. They played for the opening half an hour and then they didn't do nothing. Tottenham were rubbish. Any team in Europe probably would have beat them yesterday. Bilbao would have beat them yesterday, probably, in their own stadium. We should have just let Bilbao go through and let them win it. So I think Sheikh Jassim could continue pressurizing the Glazer takeover at the club and turn it back into glory. I mean, we can only hope, isn't it? We can only hope at the end of the day. They're saying as the English teams are soft. The Huens to any club in Germany, there would be a civil war. We didn't used to be like that, Ty Book, but you know, anyone still believe Ratcliffe is the savior? You're the enemy of the club. I agree, Chow. And how many times did we say this over the last year? Those people are back in Ineos, right? Those people back in Ineos. You know what? This summer is going to be huge, right? Because if they don't fix this team, get the players out that need to be taken out and put the players that need to be put in, you know, then I'm sorry, man. I want you Ineos people, lovers, right, to come on and start apologizing. Because you are the reason. You are the reason. You gave them that fuel to fight for the club. 27%. Glenios out, absolutely. Ephraim, good morning. Amram changed the team in the final. It's not good. A major problem. The owners, we have to do something. Look, Amram set out a team that he thought he could win the game. And that is football. Alex Ferguson has made various mistakes when it comes to especially European football. Alex Ferguson made mistakes against Borussia Dortmund in 1997. Alex Ferguson made mistakes against Galatasaray in 1994. Alex Ferguson made mistakes against Barcelona twice. And we have lost major finals because of it. Now, I'm not going to hold that against Ruben Amorim. People make mistakes, but obviously these mistakes are very costly. I still felt that that team right there was good enough to beat Tottenham. The problem was that many of those experienced players in that team went missing. You know, and, you know, Maguire's, Luke Shaw's, Mason Mount's won a Champions League. You got Bruno. You know, these are experienced players. Casemiro, experience. Where were they yesterday? Where was the experience? It's like they never played together before. Shaw was ball watching and Johnson, but he still should have saved it, Onana. Still should have saved it. And De Gea would have saved that. The problem is beyond managers. I support Ruben. Me too, Ephraim. Me too, mate. I'm not falling for this, you know, this thing. Bruno, again, missing in important matches. Leeson, I agree. I told you guys. Absolutely. No one is scared about anymore these days. It's not like the time of Ferguson. People could hear about Manchester United and get fear. And nowadays, it's us who are fearing our opponents. It's true, mate. Even a weak opponent like Tottenham. Even a weak opponent like Tottenham. This is the worst Tottenham tide I've seen in my lifetime. And that is telling you something, right? And we've lost to that team. They didn't have Burfield. They didn't have Maddison playing yesterday. They didn't have Kulusevski playing yesterday. 3 of their main attackers, midfielders, were not playing yesterday. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So that team that Ruben Amorim set up yesterday still should have been good enough to beat a depleted Tottenham side, in my opinion. But they didn't give enough They didn't want it enough. They didn't fight for that ball. It seems like we only fight when we're 1-0 down and time is running out. You know? Yeah, I'm going to go, don't do that, Bilal. Don't do that, mate. The problem is losing, thugs, that big up, Mark. We lose too many. Losing is a habit. Totspur just parked the bus and hit us on the counter-attacks. 1 goal. They should have conceded. Onana to blame and Shaw. Yep. Time to get rid of Bruno, Shaw, Mount. Time to get rid of Onana, Bruno, Shaw, Mount. All these players, Rasmus. These players need to leave. We still got Tyra Malacia, Rashford, Anthony. People say, where are we going to get money from? There's your 8 players there. Get money from them. Hurry up and get it done, Ineos. Hurry up and get some money through the door so we can refix this mess. Why have we got 30 plus in age, 30 plus players on the bench? Where's our 25, 26-year-olds? Where are they? You know what I mean? We need to have proper players on the bench, not these washed up players that we got on the bench at the moment. Sal, I would like Amarim could promote Benito Mentato. I do as well, to prove himself at the senior level, because the guy is a fucking great at academy. He's teasing defenders like Ronaldo. You know what? We got a 14-year-old as well, obviously, great JJ Gabriel, and obviously he's too young at the moment. Couple of years, hopefully he'll be ready if he stays. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Freya. I think we need to play Mentato. I think we need to play Camerson. I think we need to play these players now. Bring in the kids. Bring in the kids against Aston Villa. There's no point. There is no point playing the same team that played against Tottenham yesterday. It's about time we just brought in some kids and showed these teams. I bet you they do better than Tottenham, better than the team that played last night. I bet you. Feck 69, the bullshit back three is not working at all. Now, let me tell you something, a story about myself, guys. And many people have been on this channel for a long time. I never believed in the back three, and people know I don't believe in the back three. I've never believed in the back three, all right? But Palace played the back three. Wolves played the back three. You know, City at times have played the back three. You know, there has been times when Liverpool have played a back three when they move into a back three. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about the players you have on the pitch. Inter Milan play a back three. You know, it's all about the players you have on the pitch who can implement the system effectively. We don't have the players that can implement the system effectively. Now, Fex, my friend, I'm not saying that it's the right system. That remains to be seen. Obviously, it's not good so far. But I did warn people about the back three, because I remember England playing the back three back in 1997, 98 World Cup, 98 World Cup and stuff like that. I remember them doing it, and I didn't believe in it. But you know what? If they brought in Ruben Amorim with this distinctive style of play that has worked in the Champions League, right, and has worked in his clubs, then why don't they back him with the players that suit that system? The most important part of this system that we have is the wing backs, the wingers. Both wingers didn't get forward yesterday. Both of them didn't get forward. Mazraoui didn't get forward at all. No overlapping runs, nothing like that. And if people know about Man United, they know about how we used to get overlapping runs. We used to get players running that side, cutting in, this and that. But everyone was poor yesterday. Even the hyped up Ahmad was poor yesterday. Running without any substance, just running. This is what I was talking about, technical ballers. People who don't run much, but people who who run tactically. People who run tactically. People who can see passes, 3, 4, 4 passes ahead of the game. Those are the sort of players we want. It's not necessarily about getting the ball run, cut in, shoot. Getting the ball run, get the ball run. That is what we do. Get the ball run. Nothing unpredictable. You know what I mean? Nothing like, whoa, I didn't expect that. That was brilliant. You know what I mean? Like Berbatov used to do, that type of player. Rooney used to do, that type of player. Cantona used to do, that type of player. You know what I mean? So if you've got 2 number 10s and the 2 number 10s are road runners, then there it is. I've never rated Mason Mount. Never have I rated Mason Mount. And I've said it on here. I said it before we signed him. I wrote a tweet and it went viral in regards to me going against Mason Mount, right? I wrote a tweet about it that I didn't want Mason Mount. I didn't think he was good enough. Got a pelvis injury, going to get knock-on injuries and stuff like that. I knew Mason Mount wasn't good enough. But I'm not here to be self-righteous. You know, I'm here to look at things from a very, very worrying point of view, because Man United are in a bit of a pickle, in a bit of a mess, as we should say. Because Now we don't have the money for the Champions League, 100 million. People are saying, look, you know what? At least we'll have time with the players. Ruben Amorim will have time, have a week between games, 1 game per week. No. Guys, don't fall for that nonsense, right? Man United get Champions League. Man United get Gutierrez in the door straight away. Click in the door. Man United get Edison. You know what I mean? That is what happens if Man United get Champions League football. Straight away, you're looking at Man United get Turkey. Straight away, levels go up. Levels go up. Whereas if we don't get Champions League football, where do we go? Liam Delap. I mean, I'm not saying that these players are not going to be good, but they're coming from relegation teams. How are they going to turn Man United into forget about top 4, top 10? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I mean, I'm looking at it very concernedly. Rasmus has the biggest drop off I've ever seen in my life. Rasmus, when his first season came, he was good, scored goals, 15, 16 goals he scored, was good. This season, he's become the worst striker I've seen in all 4 bloody divisions. I watch a lot of League One football and stuff like that. He's the worst I've seen. We made it easier for them. Yeah, they just had a cigar. They had a cigar. That was it. That's all they did. They did nothing else, Tottenham. Tottenham were awful. But all they did was like, sit back, let them attack. That's why we should have sacrificed a defender. They knew we weren't good at the final third. They just took advantage of this. So this is why what we needed to do. And this is where great management comes in. And this is where I would criticize Ruben Amorim. When you're not creating anything, Tottenham are not doing anything in an attacking sense, change the formation. Put 3 up front. Alex Ferguson was losing to Bayern Munich in the Champions League final 1-0. We bought on Sheringham. We bought on Solskjaer. You know, we ended up having a bloody something like a 4-2-4, something like that around, you know, and it ended, you know, we went for it. We went for it. You just, what's the point on just, you know what I mean, just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. There's no point. But he will learn because he's a young manager. And this is what I mean. He's a young manager. He's going to learn. As I said earlier, Alex Ferguson made mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's if you learn from those mistakes, that determines whether you're going to be a great manager or not. Mark, I don't know how the defense does the same fucking shit for more than 10 years, backing up and guys run halfway up the third and allow them to play the ball in. And then, I mean, it's been happening, Mark, for many, many years, hasn't it? The cut back goal, near post, near post, near post. Same thing every single year. Eric Ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick, Jose Mourinho. The same goals we keep conceding again and again, and it still hasn't been addressed. And what does that mean, Mark? Football culture. Football culture. Man United are known for conceding goals on the back post. Man United are known for conceding goals when their cross comes in the box. The cutbacks. That is going to be our football heritage. That is going to be our football culture. Before, our football heritage and our football culture was winning. Now it's conceding soft goals. Goalkeeper making mistakes. You know, defender not covering his near post. You know what I mean? Which Luke Shaw wasn't. We're not going to sack Ruben Amorim effects. No, because who is going to get a tune out of these players? Tell me who's going to get a tune out of these players. What manager's going to come in and start making Man United bang goals in? You know? What Man United manager is going to come in and make man? Ruben Amorim is a talented manager. We are the problem. The football club, the football culture. It's not just about a simplistic point of view. It's about looking at what's above and what resonates all the way down. Yes, we can critique, but sacking Ruben Amorim is not going to do anything for Manchester United. I tell you that right now. And I will be here on this stream just like I was when I said, don't sack Ten Hag because nothing will change. I went back here because everyone told me that if Ten Hag gets sacked, another manager's going to get a tune out of these players. You know, but I'm telling you right now, they sack Ruben Amorim. We'll be back here this time next year with the same crap. It's the culture at the football club. Maybe it's about time we stopped going for the simplistic thing. Those players are not good enough. Those players don't have the IQ. Ruben Amorim didn't tell Shaw not to mark his back post. Ruben Amorim didn't tell Anana to go down his near post like a bloody old granny, right? Ruben Amorim didn't tell them to pass side to side and backwards. Have you seen Sporting Lisbon, the way they play? It's bad. Let me just write this tweet. Spurs was poor and we couldn't beat them. Yeah, Darren. Toothless, mate. Toothless. I said that Amron choosing to start Shaw and Mount is a disgrace. Imagine being a player seeing Shaw for the start for a final after he's been hiding all season. He made a mistake, SLD. I think the biggest mistake he made, was Luke Shaw and Mason Mount. They were the two biggest mistakes for me. And most of us, and we were talking about it on the stream, most of us would have done a false number 9 yesterday. Most of us were talking about a false number 9. We should play the false number 9, etc. Play Garnacho in that role, Mainu in that role. I guarantee we wouldn't have lost the game. Time to move on and focus on next season. Yeah. If I allowed Spurs to win and scored a goal, then Maguire is an idiot. Maguire, I mean, this whole Maguire honeymoon after that goal, he scored. I don't fall for it. He needs to go just as well as all of them others. They're all the problem that this team have, Mark. Yeah, in my opinion, mate, is that they are serial losers. The only experience they have in football is losing. And that's what we need to eradicate from Man United. Absolutely. Yemiat, how you doing? We won't make a legacy with 3 back system, maybe 1 major trophy in a few years, but after that downfall will start again. Then we will get a new 11 players for a new manager. Man United should... No, I like Ruben Amorim as a manager. I like him. The system is not the problem. It's not the main problem, okay? But if I was Ruben Amorim, right, I remember what is a more simple system to play for simple players, right? It's like a 4-3-3, a 4-4-2, a 4-5-1, a 4-3-2-1, that type of system these players can play. The back 3 ain't necessarily the problem. The problem that Man United are having at the moment is scoring goals. That is the problem. Yes, it was a mistake for Manana. That doesn't matter if you're 4-4-2, 4-5-1, whatever it is. If it is a mistake from Manana, it's a mistake from Shaw, it's a mistake from Maguire. Mistakes are not exclusively down to tactics. It's mistakes. And the goal was a mistake. So when we look at the goal, the goal shouldn't have happened. Now, nobody stops any one of those attacking players from scoring goals yesterday. Nobody stops Rasmus for busting his gut, trying to make things happen. And what have I been banging the drum about all week, last 2 weeks? Rasmus, make something happen for yourself. Make something happen for yourself. If the door closes on your face, build your own door. That's what I've been saying over and over again. And you know what? Yesterday, he just proved what I've been talking about. Run, no substance. Run, no substance. Ron runs. He doesn't run. He plays his back to goal. He doesn't do anything. And that's it. He needs a loan. Anana Masako, he needs to go. Horrible goalkeeper. British Bulldog, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Dreadful bunch of players. Get rid of 90% of them. Agreed. British Bulldog, absolutely, my guy. I agree with that 100%. Ephraim, we lost when we do not have a Madison, Kulu, Burfield. Imagine if they were there. Ephraim, it's the butterfly effect, isn't it? We can't really and truly know until, if they were there, what would have happened, One thing we might know is that Tottenham might have went more attacking, maybe created more chances for Man United. We don't really know. At the end of the day. We fell in the trap with top Spurs players yesterday. Yeah. And Tottenham were just cruising. Tottenham were not brilliant. Tottenham were crap. Man City would have beat them yesterday. Chelsea would have beat them yesterday. Liverpool would have beat them yesterday. Arsenal would have beat them yesterday. Newcastle would have beat them yesterday. So many teams would have beat, even Crystal Palace would have beat Tottenham yesterday. Because Tottenham were there for the taking. They were like, we had a harder game last season. We played Man City. Everyone expected Man United to lose to Man City, and we beat Man City. We found a way to beat Man City. Ruben Amorim needs to find a way to win these games, because at the moment we're losing games 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Last minute goal from Wolves, 1-0, and other games. We've lost 1-0 in the season. I can only imagine how many games we lost 2-1 and 1-0 this season. It's ridiculous. Yale, good morning. It can get rough to get a good striker now. They're going to have to pull out all the stops, Charlie, isn't it? At the end of the day. Big up Hidden Element. How you doing? They need attacking. We need to be more attacking. I agree. Maguire arguing so much with us shows that one thing, the mentality is wrong and the players absolutely Tyberg, and I've been talking about this. He spent half the game arguing with Romero. Romero wanted him to argue. He wanted him. He wanted to rattle him, and he rattled him. And then he became man of the match and made him look like a clown. Get these frauds out of our club. Get Maguire out of our club. Shaw out of the club right now. Onana out of the club right now. Rasmus out of the club. Get them out. They're just not good enough. I'm tired of it now. You know, I'm really tired of it. That these players, keep the young players in there. Start drifting in the young players in. And let's see after that. And let's try and build stuff it rather than sacking a manager and getting another manager in who's not going to do nothing. You know what I mean? With this bunch of players. Spurs beat us home and away so far. Keep Euro and sell those clowns. Team can't fail. Who would you keep? That's the question. Who would you keep? Yeah, we keep Euro. I agree. Ahmad. Delit. Mazruri's been brilliant, I think. You're scraping at the bottom of the barrel here, isn't it? Right at the bottom of the barrel. Facts. With Amram next season, United must get relegated because they can't play a Premier League team unless it's a bottom team. Or Man United will not get relegated, mate. We had no leader on the pitch yesterday. No fight, no eager to get a goal. No desire. No desire. Absolutely no desire. Managers nowadays are kids. They are like a Lucky Singh. We need that. We want that. If not, they don't even know what to win a game. You know, Ruben Amorim is a very talented manager, Yemiat, and we proved that in the Champions League. You know, the problem is Man United. That's the problem. Everyone who comes to Man United, Dorgu as well, it's like this, right? It's like it starts up here and it starts going like that. Every game, like that. Cultural problem. Glazer sitting in the stadium. Joe Glazer, Avram Glazer, the Jim Ratcliffe sitting in the stadium, you know, enjoying their prawn sandwiches. Mark, Bruno's a disaster of a match. I've been kicking. I mean, Bruno, guys, he's 31. Would you cash in on Bruno now? I would. I'm tired. As long as that money gets reinvested in the side, I'm tired, guys. I want to build a new legacy. Bruno's had his chance. I want to build something different. He's 31. Alex Ferguson would have sold him by now. And a number of other players as well. It's about time we move on from Bruno now. Sorry, guys. You know, I know he's a fan favourite. Some of the fans still believe this team's are a top 6 side in the Premier League. Like we're not top 16 seat tied, mate. So at the end of the day, the players are, Chow. The players are, don't get me wrong, they are higher than the top. They are a top 6 side. They've proven that, Chow, haven't they? That same team has won FA Cups, has been in the top 3 of the league. It's them. It's a mentality. It's from the top. So what do they do when you're down tall? It shows a lack of mentality, a lack of desire to win. What do? Get rid. That's what we need to do. We just need a complete reset, ownership culture. I am at the point where I'm not Amram in or out. The standards from the board has been broken. Yeah. You're sounding like you're going towards Amram out, Kenny. I'm not Amram in and Amram out. Mate, you change like the weather, man. Come on. You're like KG. KG's gone Amram out. You know, these players have no sense of urgency, passing side. You don't become Amram. Like, you need a window. You need to see what happens. These players have no sense of urgency, passing side to side and crossing the ball. Absolutely toxic. Backwards, side to side, backwards, side to side. And I'm sure Ruben Amorim doesn't do that. If you watch Sporting Lisbon never played like that. You know what I mean? This game was just an FA Cup. Everything was played against one goal. It's shocking not to score. Yale, Tottenham played a disgusting game and they got it. Let the rebuild start. Fire sale imminent. I hope so, Baz. Big up, Pearl. Just inconsolable today in the aftermath of last night. Pearl, just keep the belief. We will be back. And you know what? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I would say that. I know it looks pretty grim at the moment and it looks pretty difficult at the moment. But what I would urge you guys is that there will be light at the end of the tunnel for this football club. I think that. I really do think that. And I know that people are all doom and gloom at the moment. You know, we lost another final. We lost to Tottenham. But maybe losing to Tottenham in such manner is the wake-up call that we need to get rid of these players, to start again, to hit the reset button. You know what I mean? Maybe that is what it is. Maybe this is what we needed. Maybe this is the big slap across the face. I know we've had a lot of slaps across the face this season, but maybe this is the slap across the face that we truly needed. Losing to a very poor Tottenham side, right? The worst Tottenham side I've seen in my lifetime. And as I said, I've seen some poor Tottenham sides in my lifetime. Very bad ones. Toothless, desireless, lack of ideas, lack of effort. Nobody is breaking a neck to get in that box. Lack of talent, lack of IQ. It was just awful. Just awful. Alex, good morning. Watch the Leeds versus Man U preseason game. Leeds will demolish you. Alex, who do you support, Alex? Big up, Alex. Thanks for joining anyway. Amarim needs a season to prove himself. The players let him down. He does, Baz. He does. All down to all of us. Where do we go? I don't realize why Amarim keeps on saying that we must change in everything. I think he's talking about the Glazers and Ineos. I mean, he is, indirectly. Of course he is. I mean, if he could speak the truth, if Eric Ten Hag could speak the truth, if Ruben Amarim could speak the truth, you know, there would be a lot of things being said, trust me, and things being thrown. Absolutely. Sorry to say, but we should take the money from Al Hilal for Bruno and squad. I agree, Mark. I'm at that stage now. Nobody's irreplaceable for Man United right now for me. I don't have any affiliation or any feelings for these players because at the end of the day, all they've done is disappoint us. Why are we going to have affiliations with Bruno? Because he done a nice pass to Mainu in an FA Cup final over a year ago. Why? Oh, because he's stat pads. We came 17th. He's the captain. You know what I mean? He's the captain. He's the captain of the worst Man United side I have seen in my lifetime. And the worst Man United side since 1974. Beef Bully. So what traps did we see? Spurs did their thing and were shit. Spurs, all Spurs did, right? They played like an FA Cup tie. Basically, we were playing a Championship, a League One side yesterday. That's what we were doing. And I believe the way Man United are, many teams in the Championship will hold us out. There's many teams in the Championship who will easily defend against our attack. Our attack is weak. So weak. It's so weak. Never seen it so weak. Sneakbo, I feel physically sick. Arteta voice. I mean, we got nothing to say now, innit? You know what I mean? It's blessing in the disguise. We are not Champions League next season. Time to rebuild. Let the Amarim cook next season. Is it? I mean, nothing is a blessing than losing the Europa League final, Lisa. Let me tell you something right now. You can find the positives out of something so negative. You can find the positives out of everything in life. But what I would say is that if Manchester United had Champions League football, we are getting in for Gutierrez, Edison, these type of players. Now we're going after Tyler Dibbling, Liam Delap. There is a difference. You could take a cow to the river. It doesn't mean the cow's going to drink from the river. Ruben Amarim can spend time and time again with these players that now probably majority of these players will stay and they won't improve. You can't teach it. An old dog, new tricks. We need a 10 in, 10 out. That's what we need. And that can only happen if we get Champions League football, which isn't going to happen. Guys, hit the like button. Sal deserves to do it. Deserves it to do a show after that shit show last night. Deserves it. Thank you so much, Tybog. And you, mate. And you for joining me today. Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated. Flat butt for me, for as the magazine goes, 4-4-2. Can't get any better. Man United style. Good morning, Sal, and everyone. Good morning, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Any system can be successful if you have the players that gives everything for the position and fits 100%. Mark, exactly. And what did Alex Ferguson used to do? He used to bang on about? Effort, desire, 100%. You know, that's what he used to bang. That's what his team talks used to always be about. Effort, desire, 100%. You know, none of these players go. I mean, we have eyes. They didn't give it 100% yesterday. They didn't bust their gut to get a goal yesterday. You honestly think they bust their gut? Nobody was sprinting from that midfield, running towards the goal. Nobody was going for it. It was nothing. It was just like, you have it. You have it. Oh, no, you have it. And then we do a little cross and then go, keep, you're not only a cross, right? It'd be one of those stupid little poxy little floated crosses. And then it'll be like the goalkeeper for Cario. Thank you. That's what it used to be. I mean, it drives me crazy, honestly. Absolutely. We do have the player who can pass the ball patiently. Everybody wants to be a hero. We don't have, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. These lads don't deserve the fan base. How long could one tolerate? Not sure what is the excuse of Bruno after flip-flopping 2 European finals. He's a flop, mate. Flip-flopper in finals and big games. And he's the captain. Spent more time arguing, rolling around the pitch than concentrating on Man United winning the game yesterday. Things has to be said. They've been called out. You know, he's the captain of the ship. The ship is sinking. So whose fault is that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. All those fans, guys, who are sleeping at train stations at 3 a.m. at night, coach stations at 3 a.m. at night, all those great Manchester United fans who came from around the world, from all around different corners of the globe, to see that shit show, to see that. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Freya. Amron should sign Goncalo from Sporting, Hoyman, Milinkovic, Savage, Edison, Delap to reinforce the squad. I mean, it'd be very hard now, Freya. What we have to do is sell players first now, you know? Absolutely. Some players coachable, young players. Old players will never be coachable. You won't get Gutierrez now, Alex. Who do you support, Alex? You aren't answering my question. Why didn't you tell me you support? Let me tell you something, Alex, about me, right? I've been supporting Man United 40 years. I've seen it all. We've won a lot. I've seen it all. So if we never win another trophy, I've probably seen more than you. So I'm happy, mate. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all right, mate. Don't worry. We lose, you lose. That's football. You know what I mean? But Man United will be back. And Man United will be back, guys. And we'll be here. Don't worry about that. We'll be here to rub it in. Rub it in. Windows on, windows off. Shine on, shine on. Mr. Miyagi. That's what we'll be there. Rubbing it in. Absolutely. 1 week does not guarantee the team will do well. It's true. Good morning, Grayo. What's going on? Feeling empty. I'm lost for words. Such a disappointing, pathetic, and spineless display. First time I've started to question Amram. Who in their right mind would want to join us now? Hopefully we're still Man United. Hopefully we're still Man United. We still got the appeal. I mean, nah, they're going to want Champions League football. It's going to be difficult. This is why we needed Champions League football. This is why this notion that not qualifying for the Champions League is a good thing, a blessing in disguise. I don't agree with that. I really don't. I think that Man United needed to qualify for the Champions League for a whole number of reasons, including money, one thing, and obviously attracting players as well, because players want to play in the biggest competitions. Now, the only way Man United are going to get players is the way we got players before, is paying them astronomical amounts of wages. That's the only way we can do it. And what happens when you pay players astronomical amount of wages? It ruins the culture at the football club. They start playing for the money and not for the badge and stuff like that. You know, they're rich too soon and things like that, you know. Big up, Grayo. Coco, we are dog shit. Sack the players, manager and the board. Not the manager yet, mate. Calm down, calm down. If we won the Banter Cup, let's not fall for that manager thing again. Guys, let's let him have a window, yeah? If we won the Banter Cup, the Glazers would have pocketed the prize money. Yeah, they would have. But Man United would have had better players next season, Randy. Now what? We're going to have the same team next season. No matter who's the manager, it's going to be the same thing, isn't it? Round and round we go. Round and round. Do you think Eze would bring a change if we signed him? Freya, I think any Premier League player of that ilk would change Man United. I think Man United do need to look at the Premier League, definitely more, because the Premier League is more competitive. I think Man United need to look at players like him, players like Mateta, who would have done a lot better yesterday. You know, we need to look at that type of ilk of player, players like Walton. You know, those type of players would be good signings for Man United, in my opinion. I do not know how Luke Shaw last 90 minutes. He just looks overweight, mate. He doesn't look. He just does look overweight. Ashik, thing is, Sal, I would like to see our team build around someone else in the stage instead of Bruno. I agree. Even after the goal yesterday, Bruno was losing the ball and stupid passes to defend. He was moaning. He was petulant. There was petulance. He was rolling around the floor. crying, this and that, rather than inspiring. Now, we know that Bruno's an important player for Man United in the odd game, you know, but maybe Roy Keane needs to do another outburst because Bruno has been poor for a few weeks now. Maybe we need Roy Keane to give him another kick up the backside so he can start scoring goals again and performing again. Maybe that's why last time before he was performing, because Roy Keane said what he said. Maybe Roy Keane needs to do it again. That's what I would say. Absolutely. Do you think Amron let go this final to make Ineos and Glazers? No, I don't think so, mate. Don't think so. Really don't. Funny, I'm not angry, but I'm definitely disappointed. Nah, yeah. I think we all are. Højlund to be loaned out to Napoli and bring in João Pedro from Brighton, who is out of contract. The Seagulls. Good point. Some players are uncoachable. I agree. Take the Bruno and yeah, I would sell him now. The boss off blue. What's going on? Thought it was a dream. We lost to a weak Spurs in the cup final. Everyone needs to go. Unacceptable. Yeah, there you go. Goalkeeper, the major problem as the attackers. I agree, because if the goalkeeper saves that, which he should have done, we're not losing that game, guys. We're not losing that game. Onana goes down quickly, like dare I say it, De Gea used to do. You know, we don't lose that game. De Gea plays yesterday. David De Gea plays yesterday. Man United do not use that game. Trust me on that one. Yeah, Matt. Sal, you're spot on. I love the fact that Ruben has an identity, but sometimes he needs some adaptations. I agree in some games. Like he mentioned, 99 Champions League final and should have prepared for in training things. Yeah, he's a young manager and I'm sure he will learn from it. Yeah, Miat. When a manager, right, sometimes football is a simple game. Sometimes it goes beyond tactics. You're losing the game 1-0. There's 10 minutes to go. What do? Lose the game 2-0 or risk getting a 1-1? You know, there's two things you can do. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you might as well go for it. I guarantee you, if we went for it, took out a defender, played someone up front, we only started to move when we played Maguire up front. I don't mind the tactics, but there's a slight tweak for me. Just a slight one. No 3 at the back. Man United used to have wing-backs, and they were almost wingers when I was growing up in the 90s and stuff like that. Man United had wing-backs, but they were almost wingers. Gary Neville, of course, obviously Dennis Irwin. They were almost attackers. So we used to sometimes, guys, one or two players left at the back when we used to attack. Because when you're attacking, you're threatening, and they get back. They push back. They push back. So why don't we just try and play a little bit more attacking, a little bit more on the front foot? You know what I mean? I don't know, but that's just me. Rasta, Sal really wanted this win. Sal, and you know why, mate. These players really, really hurt me yesterday. Sorry, brother. I'm sorry about that, bro. I really am. God bless you, mate. God bless you. Kerry, Amron did a complete video and turned them around, and the same needs to be done at United. I agree, Curry. Kyrie, is it Kerry? Kyrie. Big up, Kyrie. I know I've seen you before. Big up yourself. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Great comment. This is what needs to be done. We could scream and shout, Ruben Amorim out, all we want. It's not going to happen. We need to back this manager because we've been down this road before. This dark, gloomy road that we've been down time and time again. Sack the manager and repeat. Sack the manager and repeat. Again and again and again. It's not going to work, guys. Nobody is going to get a tune out of these players. You're not going to turn a minus whatever goal difference into a plus 50 goal difference with a new manager. Nobody. You need a complete and utter rebuild. Yeah, Miat. Like putting off one centre-backs and put one more attack in the box. Exactly. If Amron leave, we're in big trouble. Just like, you know, Randy, what did we say? We will be back to square sacking managers. Does not change anything. I agree, Ephraim. 100%. Luke Shaw is done. Yeah, he's been there too long. Way too long. Culture at the football club again. So is Maguire. He's been there too long. All these players, just get rid of them. Just start again. Goodness, I don't know why we're hanging on to these players all the time. You know what I mean? I won't play Onana in Mina. We need a new goalkeeper, definitely. That Lyon game means fuck all now. Yeah, it would have been a legendary game, isn't it, Darren? If we went on to win this Europa League, it would have been one of the games that went in folklore. But now, after all that effort, we should have just lost to Lyon. Honestly, just get knocked out. Honestly, better than losing to Spurs in the final, isn't it? Absolutely. Spurs didn't have a goal. We just need a goalie and a top striker. Danny, you're spot on, mate. Spurs didn't try it. It was a very weak Spurs side. This is what annoys me the most because I've seen better Spurs sides. I've seen better Spurs sides than this one. This is one of the worst Spurs sides I've seen. I've seen some bad ones. You know what I mean? And this is one of the worst, probably the worst Spurs side I've ever seen. There was nothing to Spurs that we're going to think we should fear. And we just, especially in the first half, what disappoints me, we just laid off and done nothing. And it's so annoying. And, honestly. Is it true news that lad wants to stay with Ipswich? Don't care. Obviously, Ephraim, don't care. Whoever wants to come to the club, comes to the club. If they don't want to come to the club, they just get lost. And that's what I would say to them, Ephraim. If they don't want to come to Man United, fine. Best of luck. F off. That's it. You know, we can't do nothing about it. We never had a manager problem. We always had a player problem. We need an open heart surgery, Randy. And this is what we were saying in regards. Me and Randy have been on here. I've been talking about Ten Hag over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. The mentality of the passing is killing us. Yeah. Rebuild with more money. He might be sacked by the time he's October, like Ten Hag. And then round and round we go, Trigger Kim. Back in the same position this time next year. See you then. Absolutely. Biggest problem we have is the owners. Spot on, Randy. Spot on. MC Glazers, bro, it's the Glazers. Brother, I agree with you, mate. MC Glazers, big up. You know your stuff, mate. Gutierrez ain't going to come now. Probably not, Triple M. This manager trusts Maguire to play up top for 20 minutes in the final. Bro, that's criminal. Who else, Trigger Kim? Explain to me. Didn't Maguire score the goal against Lyon to get us to that position? Tell me who else is going to play up front, and I'll give you your dues. Xerxes not a forward. He's a number 10. Xerxes doesn't score goals. Maguire has scored goals this season doing that. Who else is going to play up front? The biggest criminal on that pitch was Onana, Luke Shaw, Mount. Those were the criminals in that team. Yes, Maguire wasn't perfect. But if you throw Maguire up front, he's more dangerous than anyone else we got. So what do we do? It's exactly what we're saying. Rebuild needs to happen. New striker. Proper striker. Yemiat. I think if the Lit could start, he should have stopped. He would have stopped that goal, Miat. It's a big miss for us. And Licha Martinez. Absolutely. Being relegated won't help MUC Glazers out. It won't help. The Glazers won't leave. Ineos won't leave. If we get relegated, Man United could go bankrupt. All Ineos and Glazers care about is the regeneration project. They're not going to leave MUFC Glazers out if we get relegated. So let's forget about that. The only way the Glazers are going to leave if we stop them in their path with the regeneration project. That's it. Worst season since 97. Absolutely. Big up this channel. I feel sick, bro. I'm still Amaram. Get the owner. Absolutely, brother. Big up. We need to get relegated. Only then we can demand full salary. They won't go, MEC Glazer. I live in the Middle East. I speak to representatives of Qatar. I've been on Qatari television. Man United getting relegated will not make the Glazers leave. Still 77,000 people will sell out Old Trafford. Still the New Jersey will be sold out. You know? Man United will not leave. Man United will not... The Glazers and Ineos will not leave if we get relegated. Clear that from your head. Just delete it. It won't happen. Just like people were saying, right? Oh, the Glazers will leave if we lose the Europa League final. Ineos will leave if we lose the Europa League final. They're not going anywhere. They care about the regeneration project. Since 2018, when they sent the letter to the council, that's all they care about. Relegation, do not think about that. That will destroy Manchester United. They'll be the end of Man United. Even if we sell Bruno, that money will go into the Glazers' pockets, unfortunately. Yep. We need a big overhaul anyway. Ireland is so young, but could see Romero was doing. Absolutely. When Romero provokes Maguire, Hoyland was so quick to push Romero away. But fucking hell, grow up, Maguire. What? Yeah. At least Rasmus saw it, didn't he? Sal, you know what? We get 5 million from the final, but what's that? I mean, that go in their pocket, wouldn't it? Absolutely. We are boring, sideways, backwards. Angie outsmarted Ammo. He didn't. He just sat back. Story. There's no smart about that. That's like a FA Cup backs against the wall performance. Nothing special. We just couldn't break them down. We're weak. That's it. That's the players. Ineos can't fix this. Glazers stink effects. F Ineos and all those guys. I will sell Bruno. They are comfortable. There is no accountability. I agree, Ephraim. Dean, love Ruben, but he picked the wrong team. Agree with that. Ruben Amorim is not exempt from criticism, of course. Absolutely not. Guys, a little bit. Let me show you my player ratings, guys. Of course, let me show you this. Let me just get this up. Let me show you the player ratings. Here's my player ratings from yesterday, guys. Not that it really matters, of course. Anana gets a 4, mistake for the goal. Shaw gets a 3.7, very poor. Maguire 5.5, petulant. Euro, best player on the pitch for me, 7.3. Mazrui a 6. Casemiro a 6. Bruno Fernandes a 4.3. Poor, petulant again. Dorgu a 6. Ahmad a 6.1. Running, but no end product. Mason Mount a 4, very poor. And Højlund again a 3.6. Very, very poor ratings there, of course, guys. That is the player ratings for the game yesterday. Not that it really matters, of course. Guys, it doesn't really matter, but obviously I'll have to give these player ratings out. Manager gets a 2.5. Wrong team selection. Everything about the team. Late substitutions. But that doesn't mean we're Amorim out, does it? You don't have to be Amorim out if you disagree with decisions on the pitch. So those are the ratings, guys. Nothing to write home about. The substitutions who came on. Xerxes gets a 6.2, was better than most when he came on. Garnacho was an average 6. Dalot a 5 and Mainu a 5. They came on too late to make a difference, in my opinion. Those are the player ratings for the games, guys. Dreadful, I know. We need to get relegated to make the Glazers leave. No more relegation talk, mate. It's not gonna. They're not gonna leave. They're not gonna leave. Get that relegation talk out of your head. Sexy managers with sexy systems with lower leagues overhyped. Next Premier League proven manager and direct. No, thank you, mate. Absolutely not. Sam Allardyce, Gareth Southgate ball. We've been through that. I'm an England supporter, so I know that. This could hold us back some years. How long, Sal? Depends how the summer is. Beef bully. That's all I can say. We are dog shit. Sack the players. I think I've read these ones. Where were we? Colin. I saw my first watching in 22 minutes behind. Can't believe we are going to Asia next week to play games. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous, isn't it, Colin? Madness, Colin. 40 likes. Come, guys. Let's get to 50. Thank you so much, Graham. Big up, you legend. Guys, how are you back in Amorim after last night's debacle? Come on, lads. Because it's the players, mate. As well. Yeah, you can criticize Ruben Amorim, but no manager's going to come in this football team and change our fortunes. They're not going to change Man United into a minus 20 goal difference into a plus 50. It's not going to happen. There's a cultural problem at this football club, and it is much more complicated than a simplistic sack the manager and let's go round in the circle again, and we'll be here next year. I promise you. Absolutely. And he's not going anywhere anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, yesterday's midfield didn't balance because Ugarte was benched. I agree with that. The ship has already sinked since the Glazers took over. Yeah. Fortunately, my local team is continuing winning. Big up, Chow. That's good. Instead of looking at the core issue, you look at the manager and the players. It's mad. The players, you have to look at the players a little bit, but the managers, you don't look at the manager because we've been down this road. Evidence would suggest that we can have OJ Simpson's lawyer and go to court. And the board will be made guilty, not the manager or the players, and the board and probably the players might. Absolutely, big up Beef Bully. Got to cut the shite from the stem cell. Amorim would be last to go, but all needs to go. Nothing against him. It's all rotten. He's not rotten, mate. It's the club that's rotten. He's a good manager, Coca. Trust me, he's a good manager. No matter what manager comes in, you know what I mean? They won't do anything. The Gaussman, Hansi Flick, you name it. Luis Enrique, it won't be anything. We brought in 6 first-team players this season. Xerxes, Ugarte, Dalot. The manager is tactically naive. Scott, Xerxes, De Ligt, Mazrui, Euro, and Ugarte are not Ruben Amorim signings, mate. So you can't blame him for that. At the end of the day, they're not his type of players for his system. So let's not blame the manager. It's a simplistic view. You know, it shows lack of ball knowledge in regards to IQ with football. You know what I mean? If you were a footballer, you'll be probably Ian Dowie, for example. Amram was hired to implement the style of play, so we have to be patient. Absolutely, Randy. I agree with that. Players that level are not uncoachable, but they clearly do not believe. Players who are over 25, mate, are uncoachable. I know that for being in football. So what if we bring Xavi Simons? Will he be tactical? I don't want Xavi Simons. I don't really want these players, to be honest with you. Absolutely. It's relegation this year. We're not getting relegated, mate. Stop saying relegated. MESC Glazers, people have been blocked for saying relegated, right? So please stop saying relegated. It's very simple, very stupid. I'm not being rude, but it's stupid, mate. Come on. Stop saying that dumb opinion. It don't work. Why does Amram deserve anything? Because of the past experience in football managers, what Man United have done. Every single time we've done the same thing and come up with the same results. That's why. Maybe the you know what the saying is? You know, the definition in the Saturn is doing the same thing over and over again. He deserves it because he's proven himself in the Champions League. You know what I mean? That's what he's done. He's proven himself. He's unbeaten in the Champions League. You know what I mean? The problem is it stems far deeper than simplistic. Absolutely. Big up, Vincent. I will do, mate. I will do. We have not been down this road before. We will take 6 feet under before. We are 6 feet under. We have been, mate. Yeah, you haven't seen 1974, mate. We have been down this road before. MSC. The next game you want us to lose. MSC Glazer, you're going to get blocked, mate. One more, you're going to get blocked. I doubt I'll get relegated this year. I see it better. I see better. You know, you're going to get blocked, mate. MSC Glazer, you're the one who's smoking, mate. You're the one who's smoking. Sorry. You're smoking, mate. You don't know nothing about Man United. Nothing. Surely this is the bottom, though. Can get better from here. Danny, I agree. If Emanasi and Rashford was replaced, we stood a better chance in winning absolute part of the season. Who was responsible for that mistake? Amram or the owners? The owners, because they didn't replace him. And Rashford was sent home with stomach cramps from Ruben Amram because Rashford was taking substances. So at the end of the day, what do you want Ruben Amram to do? You know what I mean? Anthony was moaning about the tactics and stuff. Sal, what do you think will be the atmosphere on Sunday? Dead. Stop the regeneration project or delay. Absolutely, mate. That is what we need to do. Oh, when the generator doesn't go through, I agree with that. That's what we need to do. Absolutely. People in Manchester area must visit their local councillors to take a look at the project. And absolutely, mate. That's what they need to do. Absolutely. All the freeloaders should be evicted. Absolutely. Let's read some of your comments. I believe Ruben can sell these players with stars and build a team on the cheap. Players who will come superstars in the future, just like Sporting. I agree, Gladiator King. I hope that can happen. Story. I know that we've been down here before. I'm old enough to know. It means modern era Premier League. Mate, we've been down here, but the only way is up. Story. That's all I would say, you know, at the end of the day. I pray for Amarim to get the way or plan to sign Gutierrez, or else we will be shit once again next season without an aggressive striker. I agree. Sal, amidst all that, good to have your own zerts, but I agree. Hope we can get a result against Villa at least. Thank you guys for joining me. Big up Marcus from NYC, New York City. Big up yourself. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Just about to close up on the show, but thank you everyone who's joined me. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. And also, please don't forget to subscribe if you're new, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. And keep your notifications on as well in case I go live later on, guys. So have a good one. Take it easy and try and cheer up, guys. Go for a walk or something. You know what I mean? Have a bucket of chicken. Whatever you want to do, guys. Take it easy. Peace.